Hello, welcome to the Basketball Soapbox. I'm your host, Daniel Daly. Thank you for joining me on this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And this one, I'm going to be giving reaction to the comments that Charles Barkley made on the State of the League, basically saying that it's headed towards a lockout and basically saying how the players are treating the league today is unfair to the owners and fans in terms of getting contracts, especially like James Harden and Ben Simmons, and then requesting trades or not holding up their end of the bargain. And I understand that to a certain degree and aspect of it. But let's get into his comments. Basically, Charles Barkley says, y'all baby these guys so much today. They don't want to play back to back games. Every time a fan says something, they get them tossed. If they're not happy, they want to get traded. It's going to come to a head in the next CBA. And I understand that completely from a logical standpoint. The owners are going to want some type of control here in terms of contracts and having players play, maybe a percentage of that to get guaranteed so much dollars. And I understand the concern of players not playing back to back games, but let's start there and let's try to break this down step by step. Players not playing back to back games. Now, are there some players there in the league that do it because of rest or they don't feel like playing or they're nursing an injury? Yes, that is true. There's also league team doctors, um, owners, agents, whatever the case may be, impacting that as well, saying, hey, you guys can't play tonight. Hey, let's take it off here. Let's take a night off here. Whatever the case may be, you have a nursing hamstring injury, ankle, back, shoulder. Guys play through injuries all the time. Guys have injuries such as that. We understand that. Now, this whole notion that guys don't play back to back games, okay, of course, Kawhi Leonard has been an extreme case of that, right? Like Kawhi Leonard has had this degenerative quad injury that he's never been able to heal. Clippers are a franchise that have been riddled with injury history from Danny Ferry, uh, Ron Harper. Multiple guys throughout the history of their team have been hurt. Blake Griffin, Chris Paul to a recent extent. But Kawhi Leonard takes the cake because of this whole San Antonio situation where he sat out there. He goes to the Clippers, same situation where he's missing time. He tore his ACL, et cetera, et cetera. Why would Kawhi want to play back to back games? Why would the Clippers want Kawhi to play back to back games, right? Now, let's look at their history as the Clippers. They have been one of the worst organizations in sports, especially underneath Donald Sterling. Why would they want players to play back to back games when their window of opportunity is so short? Especially the Clippers, especially with Kawhi. Of course, they're going to nurse that injury. Of course, they're going to listen to Kawhi. Of course, they're going to listen to the team doctors. Um, the guys photoed in the picture there. Ben Simmons has been in, of course, with his mental health issues, his back, et cetera, et cetera. I think Brooklyn is kind of sick of that and doesn't want to deal with him. He's not worth the case, especially not with the production on the floor. Guys like Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, who have been also injury prone. Why would I want them playing back to back games in a short schedule of time? Yes, you want guys to build chemistry and et cetera, like that. But in on terms of these guys playing back to backs and stuff like that. It's like if I'm an injury prone player, I'm going to have to nurse this injury and get through the season. If I play it back to back here in a short amount of time, maybe it's not the best for me. And of course, we want athletes to be in the best of shape, be on the floor at all times. Of course, like that. I understand that from a fan's perspective. I would hate to be I'm a Boston Celtics fan, pay a ticket to the Garden and not see Jason Tatum or not see Jalen Brown or not see Marcus Smart. You know what I mean? Like I would hate to buy a game where the Warriors are coming in town and Steph Curry's not playing. But these guys are legitimately hurt. Some guys are doing it because of rest. I understand that. And again, team doctors are saying this. Team scientists are saying this. Hey, we need you to take a break here. We can have you get a rest here. You're playing high minutes. Let's manage this. That happens to these players. Now let's look at other guys here like Zion. Zion has had an injury history. Why would he try to play back to back games? He has done it at times, yes. But is that the best option for the Pelicans long term as a franchise? No. Brandon Ingram, would you want him to come back right now and be hurt? No. As a commodity, we're paying millions of dollars into these guys. We have to preserve these guys to give us our best chance. And you're seeing the impact of these injuries that these guys have. They play back to backs. They re-aggravate it. They come back too soon, early, whatever the case may be. That hurts their chances. And now this started long ago with Greg Popovich, of course, rest in Tim Duncan, rest in Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker and stuff like that. And mainly started with Tim Duncan because they were managing his knee injury and stuff like that. And when I look back at their records, they still won games. When you look at the Clippers, I think they're fourth in the West right now. They're still winning games. Of course, we know their whole season relies on Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. No question. Completely understandable. But if these guys are hurt, they have to manage that. And if you told the Spurs, hey, you guys have to play that and lose the chance at 5 championships with Tim Duncan, they're not going to listen to us. They're going to rest Tim Duncan. They'll do that 10 times out of 10. That is a small market franchise that did that and won games and won championships. That is the goal here. If you told me I had to rest Jason Tatum 15 games a season to have an optimal chance at winning a championship, I would want my team to do that. Does it suck for the paying customer? Absolutely. I completely understand that. And that brings it to another question. The NBA, these owners, arenas, etc., sponsors, whatever the case may be, they mark up these ticket prices when fans come to games, when big-time players, superstars come to the league, when John Moran comes in, when LeBron comes in, when Steph Curry comes in, when Giannis comes in. At no point has anyone ever looked at the owners and said, hey, are you guys going to mark back or refund the customer that markup price that you gave to that you charged the customer? That is something that no one has ever talked about. They charge that before the season. Those fans come to the game and they don't get that. Do they get their refunds? No. What they do is they allow the ticket holder to resell the ticket. Is that fair? I don't know. I don't think that's fair. Like, I think that's something that's being lost here where everyone's kind of pushing blame on the players and stuff like that when their teams are saying to rest, when players are getting advised, hey, we need to get you to rest here and there. You're not feeling right. You're not trusting the injury to come back right. Now people are saying, hey, why don't you take games off at home? Fans come, excuse me, fans come to home games as well as last time I checked. I mean, there's no win-win scenario here. And especially everyone just pushing everything on the players. I don't necessarily think that's fair either. I think that's just the easy way out. I think that's a crapshoot. I think the owners have to take responsibility as well as that too. Hey, we charged you $1,000 for this ticket. Hey, we're only going to charge you $500. We'll refund you $500. Is that going to happen? No. That's never been talked about. That's never been discussed, especially with season ticket holders. A guy in the bleachers who just got a ticket on the last minute, whatever the case may be, those guys don't get their money back. The teams do. The arena does. The players do. They get their money back. They get all their money, whether they play or not. But in that regard of the customer, they don't give them their money back. So that's just something I always thought about. Like, that's something to think about in that whole argument, as well as all these times when people are saying, hey, these guys don't play all these games. A lot of NBA players don't play 82 games. And that's throughout history. The last time guys were that consistent is probably Bill Russell, probably Will Chamberlain. I'm pretty sure they're not even the leaders of playing 82 games a season. I'll have to check. But the guys that I think off the top of my head, Michael Jordan did it 9 times. Stockton and Malone must have did it a bunch of times. They played a bunch of games. Very durable. Didn't miss a lot of games. I think Magic Johnson only did it once in his career. Think about that. Magic Johnson, Showtime Lakers, all these guys want to play and stuff like that. He did it one time. I think Kareem did it 4 times. I think Shaq has done it 1 time. Charles Barkley, complaining about games, has done it 1 time, I believe. And I believe that was his rookie season. So when all these guys continue to sit here and say, hey, these guys don't play enough games, these guys are cheating the fans and treating them like crap, not everybody plays 82 games. Not everybody plays every road game. That's just the state of the NBA. That's just the state of the league. This is not the NFL. That just doesn't happen anymore. And maybe in this area of social media, and of course the dollars are going up and et cetera, and stuff like that. people want players to play, and I understand that. Some people are saying shorten the NBA season. Have always been against that because I feel like that affects the record books. Like you're telling me that a guy can never get most points in the season, points per game, whatever the case may be, scoring record and stuff like that, averages, et cetera, et cetera. 82 games, that's the standard, right? You take those games away, it's like it kind of messes up the history book. So I'm against that. I've always been against that. But all these times when people continue to sit there and say, hey, these guys aren't playing back-to-backs, they're not playing all these games and stuff like that, they're missing games. Missing games sucks, honestly. And I think guys want to play. I think there's an onus on the teams and the players. Hey, they got to work a way to get that. And I've always said this, hey, maybe a guy can give limited minutes, 20 minutes, whatever the case may be, they're nursing an injury. But I completely understand it from both sides. But I could also I think the loss of the player and the team onus here, that people are not speaking up. People are saying, hey, these guys have the best medicine. These guys play hard when they play. You can say whatever you want to say about the league, whatever the case may be. These guys play hard when they do play. I believe that. I watch the game on a nightly basis. I believe they play hard. But to sit here and just be like, hey, these guys are cheating the fans by doing this, I think we got to start being a little bit more realistic that people have missed games throughout the history of the NBA. And not a lot of guys play 82 games, and not every guy plays every road game. Not every guy plays every home game. That's just the reality of that situation.